Hi, my name is Ryan.
And I'm Taryn.
And we are second-year education students at the University of Regina. What is curriculum? That is the question we began with at the beginning of this semester.
As we began our journey through ECS 210, we learned that defining curriculum is not something that can be done in a sentence or two.
Instead, we learned that curriculum is a complex term that involves both lived and taught experiences.
During the semester, we had the opportunity to listen to guest speakers and follow other students' Twitter and blog accounts. ECS 210 has presented a lot of challenges and discomfort, but it has also been very rewarding.
As we reflect on our journey, we ask ourselves, what is curriculum?
Well, Ryan, in order to answer this question, I think we need to hop in our time machine and head back to the start of the semester.
Hey look, it's you, reading your Kumashiro textbook, Against Common Sense. What are you reading about?
Oh yeah, I remember that. I was reading how important it is for teachers to understand how common sense works in the classroom. He defines common sense as the social norms of society and talked about how common sense works in two ways, both benefiting some people while marginalizing others.
Oh yeah, I remember that too. Didn't he also say that teachers need to be aware of common sense when considering the curriculum to ensure they don't always conform to social norms because that's not always best for the students?
Yeah, you're right. And it was interesting to find out that common sense isn't always part of the curriculum. It's often hidden too.
That reminds me, didn't we learn about hidden curriculum too?
Oh yeah, I think that was about 2 weeks later. Let's hop back in our time machine and fast forward 2 weeks. Hey look, there we are, sitting in a seminar talking about our experiences with hidden curriculum.
Oh, I have a story for you about hidden curriculum. One time in elementary school, I forgot to put my hand up when I had a question. I blurted my question out and my teacher scolded me, but would not answer my question until I raised my hand.
Weird, I had almost the exact same experience. But you know what's funny? Raising your hand just became routine, just something that you did, even though it was never explicitly taught to us.
I'm so glad we had the chance to reflect on hidden curriculum. I never realized how important a role it played in student development.
That is so true. Without even realizing it, we learned social norms, like shaking someone's hand when you meet them, without even knowing it had been part of our hidden curriculum throughout our whole education.
So, Taryn, is null curriculum the same as hidden?
Not quite. Null is the content that's completely left out of the curriculum.
So it's never even taught?
No, it's not.
I think one of the things I will take away most from this class was Grant Urban's lecture about lived curriculum. Do you remember that?
I sure do. Let's fast forward another few weeks and check out what we learned that day.
Hey look, we were sitting beside each other that day. Was that the day we learned about arrogant perception?
It was, but I can't quite remember what that is.
Grant said arrogant perception is when teachers think that students enter the classroom ready to learn and empty of all previous knowledge.
Oh yeah, but he explained that that's not true, because before students even come to school, they've been exposed to the opinions of their parents and other surrounding environments.
He also talked about how kids are sponges when they are young and will absorb things their parents are saying, some even before they can talk.
As teachers, we need to realize that kids are coming to school with diverse backgrounds and knowledge.
That reminds me of a selection I read in the new teacher book called Brown Kids Can't Be in Our Club. The biggest realization I took away from this story is that in today's society, it is obvious that children learn from observation and they tend to mirror the actions of their parents.
I read that selection too. I thought it illustrated how racism is transmitted through generations and can so easily become ingrained in our culture.
I think these preconceived notions are a huge part of our lived curriculum, and it will be our job as educators to build a safe community in our classroom.
Do you remember that seminar where we had to discuss whiteness? Do you remember how uncomfortable we felt?
Yeah, I do. And the conflicting views on white privilege? Let's head to the seminar and hear what our classmates had to say.
about this? Look, there's Stacy asking us if we felt like we had to address our whiteness as soon as we entered a room.
And I remember when you said that if we continue to identify ourselves by the color of our skin, we will never overcome racism.
Yeah, and I think in a classroom we need to be aware of race, but realize that it isn't the only thing that defines us.
That raises a good question. Would we feel differently if we weren't white?
Has our white privilege influenced our opinion on racism?
These are all questions that we still fail to answer, but we acknowledge that this is okay, and it's an important part of our journey.
Wow, Ryan, look at the time. We better head back to the present.
Good idea. I'm starving.